Good evening, friends, followers, channel members. Oh, it's nice to be back. Oh, it seems like so long since we've done a Real Ops live stream. Well, it has been. I think the last live stream Real Ops flights we did was 7, 8, 9, 10 days ago, something like that. So really glad to be back. And the route that we're doing tonight from Amsterdam to Prague was selected by you guys in the community. So thank you so much for everyone who has voted on the route this evening. So I hope you are going to enjoy this. We have got some VATSIM ATC here as well. And it's also the first stream that I have done since Sim Update number 6. Now, with that comes a little bit of a warning, because I have sadly seen lots of flights, lots of streamers who have had crashed their desktops following Sim Update number 6 midstream, which is terribly frustrating and annoying. So little caveat that is always going to be a possibility. Sadly, nothing we can do about it, of course. We just have to crack on and see how we get on. So good evening to Christian Barwald, Land O'Lakes as well. Good to see you, Christian. It's been 84 years. Oh, don't say that. My mum and dad have just gone off on a cruise. Literally. Flights 123, hello to you. You're just doing a flight from Luton to Athens, but descending soon. I love a good flight to Athens. What a great flight. What is it, about 3 hours, 3.5 hours in total? And Athens, great airport to land at. So it's a nighttime stream as well. We're doing it in real time and real weather. Oh, Simon Smith, thank you so much for your very early €5 donation. And Simon says, welcome back. Nice to have you streaming again, sir. It's nice to be back, Simon. I'm still not 100%. So you guys are going to have to watch me like a hawk this evening for any daft things that I may do. But thank you very, very much, Simon. I do appreciate it. And thank you for your continued support now that whilst we've been away and now that we're back. It's been great chatting to you on Discord, although I know that I've not actually been too active on there either, whilst I have been recuperating. For those of you that don't know, I've not been too well. Thankfully not COVID, but there's just some, I think like all the colds and viruses and germs and bacteria on the earth at the moment have thought, hey, hang on, we can't let COVID have all the limelight. So I think they've been flexing their muscles as well, and they're just wiping out everybody we know as well, knocking them down for 3 or 4 days. And that's how I've been, basically. Danny Rubble, good evening to you as well. Thanks so much for stopping by. And Ibi Chibi, good evening. Won't be able to watch all of the stream since it's getting late here in Doha. That's right. It's quite a short flight, actually. 1 hour 3 minutes flight time. So we're going to crack on shortly. So yeah, Drini, hello to you. And Paul, don't print off the METAR, still causes a crash to the desktop. Well, it did pre-Sim Update 6, didn't it? So I haven't pressed that button for a long time. So let's go ahead and get on board. I'm just going to get rid of the chat box as well whilst we go ahead and sort that. So just bear with me one second, and we'll get going. Right. So as you can see, it is of course late in the day. Probably. This aircraft's been flown in the real world. It would have been flown several times before, so we're in a nice turnaround state. Now, because I've been away for 10 days or so, everything I do today is going to be slightly slower than normal. We're just going to take our time over it, make sure we don't miss anything, because after such a while away, we need to make sure that we don't do anything daft, or worse, forget anything really important. So we can see that current QNH is set 1020, and anti-skid is on. We'll come down, check the pedestal. Of course, I'm not just checking the pedestal here, but I'm also checking the physical thrust levers and things like that, engine masters that I've got on my Thrustmaster Captain's Pack, TCA Captain's Pack. So we want to make sure all of that is set up as it should be. Landing gear down, that's good. So yeah, all that looks, at least where I remember it should be, so that's good to see. So let's carry on and come up to the glare shield then. We'll get flight directives 1 and 2 on. We'll also get the constraints turned on as well. Instrument panel brightness, well, they've already been set really from the previous flight, so they are all looking okay. So that's good. Right, let's go over to the tablet, and oh, see, I've forgotten something already. I normally give you guys the operational flight plan, don't I? So let's go ahead and pin this to the chat for anyone who wants to download it, and for anyone who joins later on in the stream. So we'll just pin that. There we go. So there's our operational flight plan that you can have a look at. We'll also just get that information onto the tablet as well. Now, current weather in Prague is okay. A little bit windy though. Visibility is fine, but it is a little bit windy. Weather en route looks fine as well. Look at that, a tailwind of 48. That's going to get us there nice and quickly, isn't it? So in terms of extra fuel, probably don't need to take a mass amount. To be fair, if we take half a ton extra, and again, that's just a bit of contingency. There's some traffic around tonight, and let's face it, we are at Amsterdam, so the taxi's not a short taxi. I think they could also give us runway 36 left, which is 3 towns away, so we'll need some extra fuel for that anyway. So if we go ahead and take 5.6 tons of fuel, then that's going to be spot on. We'll be happy with that. So we'll tell those guys they can crack on. Let's type that in. 5.6 tons and get that going. Before we can get passengers on then, let's get the APU on. 1, 2, 3 and go. So there we are. FlySim 123, you've started being able to land on the centre line and in the touchdown zone. Not butter, but safety. Yeah, well, you know what? That's exactly the way it should be, just as Christian said. And in that order. So centre line first, touchdown zone, and then if it happens to be smooth, well, that's great. But if not, who cares? As long as you can walk away from it. Robert, you've got Navigraph up and running. What a difference that makes. It does indeed. Hi Sith, hello! You're finally back into the sim world, and a new update. Any bugs or downloads you need to be... Oh, I honestly don't know. I've been away for about a week, so I guess we'll find out together. Hi Sith. We'll see what's happening with that. So I'm just going to wait for that APU to fire up. We'll start getting some passengers on board just then as well. Quick flick through that operational flight plan then if you want to go through that with me. Max shear rate very low, so we're not expecting any major turbulence. There's our route. We've planned departure runway 24. That could change. I think 36 left is an option. Landing on runway 24, a little bit gusty, as I say, if you want to check the METAR a little bit further down below. And if I come back, because I have had a look at this prior to flying anyway, our weather charts look pretty great, and what a nice direct route that is as well. No messing around, just there. Now, in terms of the NOTAMs for this airport, I just want to check. So if we're expecting... Hang on, where's my ground charts for this? So if we're expecting either 24 or 36 left, taxiway Echo's closed. Where's taxiway Echo? Is that going to be a problem to us? It's not going to be a problem. Oh, is it Echo 1 that's closed? Oh, taxiway Echo 1's closed. Oh, that's fine. That's not going to bother us. Just means we'd take Sierra 7 if we were told to do so. So yeah, that's fine. Look at that. Caution. Migrating geese crossing Amsterdam between 300 and 700 feet. I don't think we need to worry about that in a simulator. Be kind of cool if it did one day. We've got live animals in the sim already, haven't we? If we could have geese flying around that we need to be careful of, that would be kind of neat. All right, APU is up and running. Let's get the APU bleed on. I will just time that for a minute. Then we'll get the packs on, and then passengers can get on board. David, since the update you can't fire up engine 2. Oh well, I hope I don't have that problem. Guess we'll find out together, won't we? Jimbo, greetings from Prague. Oh, fantastic. Jimbo, what's the weather like? Is it windy? So let me just get the request there, check that against our operational flight plan. We've got a payload of 17160 and our flight plan is 17160. Excellent. Right, so we can start adding that weight to our aircraft. Obviously I use self-loading cargo for my actual passengers. This is just a payload aircraft weight, so I'm not bothered that the packs aren't turned on just yet. We'll get that sorted very soon. Am I going to do a live A320 tutorial anytime soon? Those are your favourite streams. Well, I do need to do one because the last one we didn't work, did it? We got halfway through and then I think we had to crash the desktop actually. So we probably do need to do one of those. Right, let's get the packs on and then we'll start getting those passengers on board. Okay, so passengers are now boarding. We'll go through and set up the box in a moment. Christian, you're just doing a quick HD check. I love Boeing. I think he did plan on being around tonight, so there's a good chance he could be lurking around in the background. Jimbo, you've had strong winds in real life, around 20 knots or so. Yeah, I think Metal suggests gusting up to about 28, something like that, so we'll see when we get there. Right, let's start setting the box up. So we've got our 3 nav greens, aircraft status, LEAP engines, and the valid Airac cycle. We'll do the ACARS uplink, and our alternate tonight is Echo Delta Delta Charlie, if I type that incorrectly. Our flight number tonight, it's not an alphanumeric call sign. Very rare I've seen an Easyjet flight without an alphanumeric call sign. There are some, but most are. This one isn't, however. It's 7907. Costing flight level 370 minus 57 is our temperature. So we'll go ahead and update that. The tropopause altitude is 35,700 feet. Oh, that's pretty close. I don't think I've ever had it exact, but within 200 feet is pretty good. Robert, you're heading from Iceland to Doncaster, Sheffield. Are you doing a passenger flight or are you doing a cargo flight? For those that don't know, Doncaster Sheffield Airport is my closest large airport. And yesterday I was outside and I just happened to be in the right place at the right time. I saw a cargo 747 coming in from, it was America somewhere. I forgot where it was coming from now. I did do a quick check on Flight Radar 24 and it was so low down. It looked huge. Forgot where it came from now, but it wasn't a common flight, so it was really nice to see that. Hey Ronald, how are you? And Ronald, we're taking 5.6 tons of fuel with us today. Cackwurst, you've been having some differences between your operational flight plan and sim brief and the sim's final gross weight. Do I know why? Number one, are you using the correct sim brief profile? And number two, are you emptying your aircraft weight before you start adding payload and fuel to it through the McDo? Onto the flight plan then. So let's just pop this in. So at the moment I'm going to pop in 2-4, but that may change, and that's the Arnhem 3 Sierra. Just check that's the right one. ARNE 3 Sierra. Yeah, as I did say, I want to do things slightly slower today than normal because it has been a while. There we go. And then our arrival is going to be runway 24, the Golub 3 Sierra. And that is via Airac, I think, from when I had a look at the charts earlier. We'll double check that. Yes, for runway 24, that's via Airac. And insert. Flight plan 431, and I've got 441. 10 miles different, so that's fine. Onto the RadNav page. There's nothing really I particularly need in here, I don't think. We've got the Schiphol VOR that we can use for situational awareness, of course, which is Sierra Papa Lima. We'll pop that in. But under normal circumstances, that's not going to have any bearing on us today. There it is. So that's popped in there. And then onto the Init B page, we have got the zero fuel weight. In fact, just before I do that, are we all fully loaded? Fuel is fully loaded, just under 5.6. And passenger weights are done. Let's just double check what's our takeoff weight. Yeah, that's fine. So takeoff weight is just going to be below 69 tons. Bear in mind, of course, we loaded an extra 500 kilograms, an extra half a ton of fuel. So that's right. So zero fuel weight is 63.4. That matches up again with the operational flight plan. So that trip wind, remember, that tailwind of T48. Kakwas, the profile you need to use now is the fly-by-wire one. The one specifically designed for my aircraft profile is now, since it was all updated, it doesn't work anymore. So you need to use the fly-by-wire one. Fuel planning is 4, and we've got 5.5. And Gianmarco, this is the experimental version of the fly-by-wire aircraft. So sadly, no TCAS, no weather radar, nothing like that. Christian, do we not need to zero the payload weight anymore? I don't do it with the fuel, just the payload weight. Do we not need to do that anymore? If they fix that, oh, that's good. I'll try that out next time. Fuel for the alternate required is, let's call that 1.2 tons. And extra flight time of 23 minutes. There we go. Lovely. Well, that all looks good. Onto the performance page then. So, runway 24, to be fair, this is quite neat because runway 24, which we've got in the OFP, and runway 36 left, which we could get from the controller in a moment, it's the same thrust reduction engine out, which is 988, so that is actually quite accurate. We'll just update the engine out. Flaps 1, nice long runways. Now let's just get a couple of other things. Transition altitude here is 3,000 feet. I think this is the first time I've seen a thrust reduction and engine out, engine acceleration values, etc. Below 1,000 feet. That is, of course, because Amsterdam is below sea level. Okay, V-speeds all sorted. And just having a quick look, there is a max speed restriction on this particular takeoff of 220. There's still a chance we could get this runway for departure, so we shall see what happens. But for now, if we need to adhere to that speed restriction, we may as well fly that at flaps 1, which is speed of 199. If we get a different SID, I need to go back in and change that. We shall see. Okay, so I'm going to contact the clearance delivery before we do any sort of pre-flight briefing. So let me lock that flight deck door. Still got about 50 passengers to board. And if I use the fly pad, is clearance delivery online? I think, or I thought they were. So there's our 80
kilometers. Scattered 3,500
takeoff runway
feet,
36
temperature
left.
92.5 QNH.
Oh, that's the main takeoff runway, so 24 is still a possibility.
Change end of information, Charlie.
Now, let me just check as well that my flight assistant is not fiddling with my radios. No, he's not. So that's good. Hey, Dark Fury! How are you, sir? Hope you're well. So Schiphol delivery. Let's give them a call and see what they can do for us. Where are we? We're at Stand Hotel 1, aren't we? In fact, let me just go back to the 80s, get the latest information. Charlie is current.
This is Schiphol information. Charlie main landing, runway 27 main takeoff, runway 36 left, transition level 40, wind 310 degrees 9 knots, variable between 280 and 350 degrees, visibility 10 kilometers, scattered 3,500 feet, temperature 92.5 Q.
There we go. Alright, let's see which runway we get for our departure. Schiphol clearance, good evening, Alpine 7907, Type A320 Neo, Stand Hotel 1 requesting IFR clearance is filed, and we have information Charlie on board.
Alpine 7907, good evening, information Charlie correct, you're clear to Prague, RNM 2 Victor departure runway 36 left, initial climb flight level 60, squawk 1000.
Departure runway 36 left, squawk 1000, and just confirm the departure for us again, please. Alpine 7907.
It's the Randy 2 Victor, Romeo Echo November Delta India 2 Victor, and initial climb flight level 60.
Project cleared runway 26 left via the render departure, and initial climb is flight level 60, Alpine 7907.
Alpine 7907, to confirm, RNM 2 Victor and runway 36 left.
Confirmed, Surrender 2 Victor and runway 36 left, Alpine 7907.
Alpine 7907, read back correct, report fully ready.
Wilco 7907. Okay, so let's update that. That's the longer taxi for us. So that's the render to Victor departure. Pop that in there. We'll need to go check that takeoff data. And squawk 1000, that initial climb was flight level 60. I'll get the other chart up now in a second. But our takeoff data, thrust reduction acceleration is still the same, flaps still the same, engine out still the same, and we should just check that our V-speeds are all the same. Yeah, I didn't expect them to be any different. Let me now just bring up a different chart.
Austrian 3 Sierra Victor, read back correct, report fully ready.
So many charts.
Schiphol delivery, good evening, ITER of 1850, stand echo to
so we have no speed restrictions, so I can go ahead and get rid of that.
Destination Torino.
ITER 1850 clears to Torino, a low pick for Victor departure runway 36 left, initial climb flight level 60, squawk 1000.
So we will clean up on schedule. Right, let me just silence ATC, and then we will do our departure briefing. Okay, so we are at stand Hotel 1, which is right down here. We're going to taxi out. I need to get up another ground check actually. So we'll taxi out facing north on Alpha 19. We will then be told most likely to take Bravo, unless it's going to take us the really long way around. So after Bravo, it's then going to be... Oh boy. Okay, so it's going to be Bravo Delta. I'm going to guess, is he going to let us cross Whiskey 5? Or if not, it's going to be all the way up on Delta, on Charlie, sorry. So it'll be Bravo, Charlie, 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 Charlie. Potentially Yankee if he takes us all the way around, and then down onto Victor, and there's our departure runway. So, I'm going to need more ink in my pen to follow those. And then let's have a quick look at the actual departure and make sure these all match up. So we've got Amsterdam 12, then we've got Amsterdam 87, Amsterdam 88, and then Pampas VOR. Yep, coding's all good. Clear that discontinuity. Short flight, long taxi.
Hi Gavin, all the passengers are on board and we're ready to go. I'll bring you a cup of tea after we've taken off.
Great stuff, thank you very much.
Continuing the brief then, it's a nice RNAV departure. Autopilot can handle that. We've checked it's coded correctly, so after takeoff we can pop autopilot on. Climb and accelerate as planned. Clean up on schedule. No speed restrictions, and off we go. That initial climb is 6,000 feet. Minimum safe altitude for our departure in this sector is 1,700 feet. Okay, if anything goes wrong during the taxi, then ATC is on board. So, emergency brief. I'll contact ATC, we'll stop the aircraft as well and inform them that we've had to stop due to a problem. If there's a problem that we can sort on the ground whilst we're there, great stuff. We may have to run ECAM drills and etc, etc. But hopefully that of course will not happen. Either way, we must make air traffic control aware as they are online. On departure, if we've got any problems or warnings before 100 knots, then I'll consider stopping, but after 100 knots up to V1, I'll only stop for uninhibited ECAM warnings, cautions, engine fire or failure, and that's with or without thrust lost, or if I think the aircraft is completely unsafe to fly. But if that is the case, then I'll call stop, I'll go to max reverse, keep the aircraft nice and straight on the runway, and use manual braking if I don't think auto brake is stopping as well as I think it should. If we've had an engine fire warning, I will also attempt to point the aircraft into the wind. Once I've come to a complete stop, we'll stow the reversers, set the parking brake, and then just pause, take a deep breath, and check the ECAM to establish the cause of the failure and any fault lights. Once we've established the cause of the failure, we can either complete any ECAM drills, and I can ask ATC if we can vacate the runway. If it was an engine fire, of course, and something a little bit more serious, then we'd have to consider running the evacuation checklist. If we have a failure after V1, we'll get the aircraft into the air. If it's an engine failure, I'll fly using the standard technique of 12.5 degrees of pitch. I'll use the rudder to counteract any yaw, and once the aircraft has a positive rate of climb, we'll get the gear up, trim out that yaw, and then I'll get autopilot engaged. It's a standard engine out procedure here, so I'll pull the heading bug as well, as I don't want to continue on the SID. We want to carry on going nice and straight. We won't do anything below 400 feet. After 400 feet, we'll confirm the failure and run any ECAM drills if required, and then we can also cross-confirm, or if we had two pilots in the sim, you'd cross-confirm any guarded or engine switches, and then we can move thrust levers as well. Once the engine is secure and we're above the single engine acceleration altitude, we can push the level off, accelerate, retract the flaps on schedule, then green dot will go open climbs, set maximum continuous thrust. Once we reach an altitude of 1500 feet, we will make a left turn to the Sugal holding point. We'll enter the hold there, and then we'll decide what we're going to do next. Sugal is an entry of 114 degrees and it's right turns. and I'm actually just going to pop that on here. So we've got that on the navigation display. So that should be now showing, if I go into the map mode, there it is. I need to confirm that is not, it is a left turn, not a right turn, but that's quite obvious. So there we go, that all looks good. Christian, could you suggest a single engine taxi? That's a good shout, Christian. We could do that, particularly given how long this taxi is. Remember, we need to leave at least 3 minutes. 3 minutes for the engines to be running at full pelt. Right, I think we're about ready to begin getting everything set. Start running our before takeoff and before start checklists.
Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of myself, the first officer, and the cabin crew, may I welcome you on board this Easyjet aircraft for your flight today. The ground crew and the fueling crew have all finished, and we're just about finished with all our cockpit preparation up here. The cabin crew are making their final checks as they work through the cabin, so if you could please get yourselves sat down comfortably with your seatbelts securely fastened and give them their full attention as they begin their safety briefing. A big welcome on board today to our Easyjetsimpilot members, who of course are welcome to free complimentary drinks throughout the flight. Once we reach our cruising altitude, our cabin service will commence, and the cabin crew will be able to provide you with drinks, snacks and merchandise throughout the duration of the flight. Once again, I'd like to thank you for choosing to fly with Easyjet today. We'll have an update for you when we are airborne.
So the final part of the briefing, just before we look to get going. Final check on the weather here in Amsterdam is perfectly fine, and so we'd have no problems returning here. We are ever so slightly above the maximum landing weight, not by much to be fair, only about 1.4 tons, which well, we'd be able to land back here. We just need to run the overweight landing checklist, but we've got nice long runways here at Amsterdam, so nothing to concern us there. The aircraft is the Type A320neo experimental version from FlyByWire, which means we have no terrain radar, we have no weather radar, and we have no TCAS, so we need to be careful when leveling off to our cleared altitudes. No times to be aware of, nothing here in Amsterdam. Threats to be aware of: me. I'm a big threat. I haven't flown for 10 days. So if you guys see anything that you think you shouldn't, flag it up, and we'll double check that. So all 133 of you, you are my pilot monitorings on this flight till we get back into the swing of things a little bit. Right, well, I think we're about ready to start doing some checklists.
Cabin crew, we're about ready to push back, so if you can please all the door around cross-check. Thank you.
So before start checklist then, to the line. Our cockpit preparation is completed. Our signs are on and auto. Ideas, 3 nav green. Fuel quantity is 5560 kilograms and balanced. The FNGS is set. Altimeter 1020. In terms of actual threats, we've already briefed minimum safe altitude. There's no terrain around us. We should be absolutely fine. One of the other big threats here, of course, is getting lost. Okay, so with that, let's get the tug on its way. We'll get the ground crew here, and then once they're here, we'll get our clearance for pushback. Normally you get your clearance first before calling the ground crew, but this actually takes a little bit of a while, so it's worth just starting this first. Although if we actually don't have a real tug, which we don't, then they're not going to go through all the ground crew operations. So that's a shame. We lose a bit of reality there, but never mind. Okay, let's get our pushback clearance. Skip all clearance. Alpine 7907 is ready for push and start. Stand Hotel 1.
Alpine 7907, information Delta QNH 1020. For pushback and startup, contact tower on 119.225. Bye bye.
Over to the tower for pushback. Thanks very much. 119225. Bye bye. Thought the tower would do it, but I just wanted to be sure. Sometimes I think delivery can do that. I may be wrong.
Willem 25 Foxtrot, hello, push and start approved.
Push start approved, Willem 25 Foxtrot.
Okay, I'm just also having a look to see if we've got Amsterdam radar online. I think we do, so I'm also going to get that in the standby. Amsterdam radar is 12575. Because we may have to contact them on departure. Although it is saying Amsterdam West, I don't know if they control here, but better to have it than to not. Schiphol Tower, good evening, Alpine 7907, stand Hotel 1, and we're ready for push and start.
Alpine 7907, good evening, push and start approved.
Push start approved, thank you, Alpine 7907. We can probably get that pump on because our acupressure is not in the green. That should sort that out. Transponder is set. And let's run the before start checklist below the line. So our windows and doors closed and armed. Rotating beacon light is on, mobile phone is on silent, and parking brake is set. Okay, let's begin our push. So release the parking brake. And it's quite a tight spot here, so I think we need to be very careful at the speed at which our tug driver pushes us back. Okay, let's begin our engine start. So, starting engine 1. Ignition start, and engine master 1 start.
Ocean 3 Sierra Victor, request taxi.
Ladies and gentlemen, we now ask for your attention while we take you through the
Ocean 3
safety
Sierra Victor,
procedures on
taxi
this
on going
aircraft.
to runway
A
36
safety
left by
card is in your
Quebec,
seat pocket showing
F55
the
cross
exit
runway
routes,
36 center.
oxygen masks, life jackets and brace position that you must adopt if you hear brace, brace. There are 2 emergency exits at the rear, 4 in the middle, and 2 at the front of the cabin. Floor lighting will guide you to an exit. Please be aware that your nearest exit may be behind you. In an emergency, leave all cabin baggage on board. Your seatbelt is fastened, adjusted, and released as shown. It must be fastened when the seatbelt signs are on, and we recommend that you keep it fastened at all times.
Kilo 591,
If
taxi
the air
on
supply
going to runway
fails,
36
masks
left
will
by
drop
Bravo
from
North,
above you.
F55
Pull a mask
cross
towards
runway
you to
36
start the
center.
oxygen. Put the mask over your nose and mouth. Hold in place with the strap. Pull on each side to adjust. Put on your
Okay, so engine number 1 is stabilised. So, if we're going to do a 2-engine taxi,
around your waist,
sorry, a single engine taxi,
click together, and pull the
engine
strap
start
to
switch to normal. I already had that on to pressurise the acupressure, but we'd now turn that on.
If it fails to inflate or needs topping up, blow into the tube. There is a light and whistle for attracting attention.
Shame we've not got a tug, slightly
We also carry
unrealistic.
flotation aids
Never
for
mind.
children. Your tray table must now be stowed, armrest down, window blinds open, and seatbelt fastened. We wish you a pleasant flight.
Pascal, hello sir, hope you're well. William is correct, it is a ghost tug. Ghost tug this evening. Ah, it's a bit dark, isn't it? I'll stop that pushback there. Parking brake set. Engine mode selector is normal.
KLM 25 Victor is ready for taxi.
APU bleed
KLM
off.
25 Fox,
APU masters off.
left via Bravo North.
Anti-ice is not required. And spoilers,
Taxi to runway 36 left
trim,
via Bravo North
and
55 cross runway 36 center.
flaps 1 and 23.5. There we go, that'll do. Okay, so our pushback tug is clear because we didn't have one.
3051 is ready for taxi.
We'll request our taxi clearance in a second. But let's do the after start checklist first. So anti-ice is off. ECAM status is checked. Pitch trims 23.5 and rudder trim is set 0.
KLM 3051.
Itaro 1850, continue holding point Victor 3 and contact Amsterdam radar 125.750, bye bye.
Continue holding point Victor 3 and contact radar 125.750, Itaro 1850, goodbye.
Okay, let's get ready for this long taxi instruction. Tower Alpine 7907 is ready for taxi.
Alpine 7907, taxi holding point runway 36 left at Whiskey 5, cross runway 36 center.
Cleared holding point 36 left and at Whiskey 5, contact 36, cross runway 36 center, Alpine 7907. Okay, so they're not actually giving us long taxi instructions. We already know where we're going, as we briefed where we're expected to go. It's a one-way system here at Amsterdam anyway, so that kind of takes some of the guesswork out of it, really. Let's get the taxi lights on, and we can release the parking brake.
75 voor Austrian 3 Sierra Victor. En een fijne avond nog.
Quick flight control check.
Full
left. Full right. Neutral. Full up. Full down. Neutral rudder. Full right. Rudder. Full left. Neutral. Okay, so straight out to the end here. Turn left on Bravo.
Alpine 7907. At Alpha correction, join Bravo behind 2 KLM aircraft from the right and monitor Amsterdam 125.750, bye.
Hold at Bravo, give way to 2 passing aircraft from the right and contact 125.750 Alpine 7907.
KLM 591, monitor Amsterdam 125.750 at Alpha 19 and your number 1.
125.750, thanks for service, bye bye.
KLM 3051, Amsterdam 125.750, fijne avond.
125.750 voor KLM 3051, dankjewel, fijne avond.
All station Schiphol Tower is now closed, monitor Amsterdam or delivery 121.750 or 121.975, bye.
Okay, so we'll hold at Bravo and then I think there's a couple of aircraft he said crossing from right to left, and we're moving over now to 125.75. For those that have just joined, yes, engine number 2 is off, as we're doing a single engine taxi. William Greta would be proud. Yes.
Itaro 1850, runway 36 left, cleared for takeoff from Victor 4. The wind is 300 at 7, remain high frequency.
Thank you.
What a beautiful pink aircraft.
Last Itaro 1850 from Victor 3.
Victor 4.
Jeff, the dome light will be turned off for departure.
Victor 4, in this case we need to backtrack.
Oh, sorry, you're already on Victor 3. Okay, yeah, now, yeah, you may continue now.
I bet this controller is really thrilled that the tower is just disconnected.
150 when ready to be level at Woody.
And Amsterdam radar, Alpine 7907 is now holding short on Alpha 19 Centre for taxi onto Bravo.
Golf Tango Charlie, flight level 510, direct to Woody.
Locked.
Golf Tango Charlie, when ready, descend level 150, level Woody.
We will check that he wants us to continue taxi after these two aircraft. I think that's the idea, but I can also see another aircraft just there. So,
7907, hello, join Bravo behind KLM 73, join Bravo behind the Airbus A310.
we'll join Bravo behind the passing Airbus A310 and just confirm that's the aircraft we can now see just directly in front of us. Alpine 7907.
You can now continue taxi from Bravo.
903 with you at flight level 380.
Alpine 7907, continue taxi on Bravo.
Wilco 7907.
Hello, Scandinavian 593 Amsterdam. Proceed direct to Woody.
Pascal, thank you so much for your donation there. Really appreciate that. And Pascal says a small donation to help you refund the money you spent in Amsterdam's coffee shops. Oh, thank you very much, Pascal. Very, very kind of you, and appreciate your support very, very much. Thank you, Pascal. It seems like it's been far too long since we've been flying. It's great to be back. So. It's a short flight this evening, but that doesn't necessarily mean a short stream. Doing everything much slower than normal because I'm a little rusty, and of course at Amsterdam, lots of tarmac to cover before we actually get airborne. So, at what point then, guys, do you think we should begin the engine 2 start? Remember, it has to be running for 3 minutes. So, it's a bit of a guessing game.
QT2 Papa Romeo, climb flight level 100, you are identified.
Flight level 100, QT2 Papa Romeo.
So I think we need to take the first right-hand taxiway because that is we need Charlie, don't we? Taxiway Charlie. It's November 5, so it's the next right.
250,
Austrian 3 Sierra Victor, when ready, runway 36 left Victor 4, cleared for takeoff, the wind is 310 at 6.
So we've not done our pets check yet or anything like that, but we've got plenty of time. Christopher says just check it on now, it's not my fuel. No, but we may need that extra fuel if a gust of winds comes in Prague and knocks us off axes and we have to go around again.
Hello, Alpha Bravo and 391 Fox, Amsterdam. Proceed direct to Ravlo.
Direct to Ravlo, 391 Fox.
Scandinavian 593, start to descend, flight level 260.
So it's this first right.
Descend flight level 260, Scandinavian 593.
QT2 Papa Romeo, fly direct to Woody.
Direct to Woody, QT2 Papa Romeo.
First right then. On to taxiway Charlie.
Sky to level 3475, left on Alpha to Charlie 11.
Left Alpha, Charlie 11, Sky travel 345.
And then at Whiskey 5.
Alpine 7907, continue taxi holding point Victor 4.
Continue to holding point Victor 4, Alpine 7907. Okay, so that's after we've crossed runway 36 centre.
Then 591 at Victor 4, line it away to runway 36 left, there's one intersection departure in front.
After next departing aircraft line up and right, 36 left, KLM 591.
Strangely enough, this is very similar to the route that I think this actual flight took a couple of days ago. I think they were using this runway just then. Not quite sure why Amsterdam felt the need to build runway 36 left. I'm sure someone in the chat will enlighten me.
Golf Tango Charlie, confirm maintaining flight level 150.
Roger that, maintain flight level 150, Golf Tango Charlie.
Okay, check your altimeter, sir. Your mode Charlie is showing flight level 147 rather than 150.
Christopher, I have upped the level of detail. I think it's something like something daft like 320. I didn't go all the way up.
If you're still on flight levels, sir, maintain standard altimeter setting 1013 hectopascal. Osavia 6697 identified, climb to flight level 13.
William, you've just been to Prague and it's very windy, runway 2417 knots. I think it's not planned to get any better either as the evening moves on, so we shall see.
Cannon 3051 from Victor 3, cleared for takeoff.
Okay, right on to Victor in a moment.
Remain my frequency.
Cleared for takeoff at Victor 3 for KLM 3051.
Cannon 25 Foxtrot in sequence behind KLM 777, line up away, 36 left, Victor 4 behind.
In sequence, line to wait, Victor 4 behind.
Christian, thank you for that.
KLM 25 Foxtrot.
Alpine 7907 in sequence, line up away, runway 36 left, Victor 4.
Line up in sequence 5 Victor 4 for runway 36 left, Alpine 7907. That aircraft almost looks like it's stalled. It must be making a left turn.
QT2 Papa Romeo.
Okay, let's get engine number 2 started, shall we? So let's get that pump off. APU bleed on. I shouldn't have turned the APU master off. That was a silly mistake.
Osavia 6697, and oh, there is an issue with your flight plan. You filed via Arnhem and then direct Birmingham, and that's normally not available. I'll send you a private check message about it. For now, you can proceed direct to Golf Mike Hotel.
Oh, this could delay our takeoff. Let's just taxi really slowly. Whilst we do that, let's do the performance and peds check. So, new QNH 1021, we're still going to be doing a toga takeoff, so that's okay. Engine out procedure is standard 1,500 feet. It's a left-hand turn to Sugal. And departure matches what we have in the FMGC. As checked, stop altitude is 6,000. Flight level 60.
Austrian 3 Sierra Victor, identified. Climb flight level 250.
APU bleed on. Engine master to ignition, starting engine 2.
Osavia 6697, climb flight level 250. Cannon 591, remain my frequency, runway 36 left, cleared for takeoff. The wind is 310 at 6.
Remain your frequency, runway 36 left, cleared for takeoff. KLM 591.
Now, just need to check
And the
our actual route here.
Startup. Say again, Nicolsa.
So it's straight ahead and then
Hello, Lufthansa Cargo
left, I think.
Roger. And,
this looks like a little bit of a
pushback approved. The QNH is
ditch in the taxiway. They want to get that filled in.
Clear focus to start. QNH
Are we just going to roll down here? Want to be a little bit careful with that, or we'll end up breaking the aircraft.
3051, identified passing 2.5, climb flight level 260.
I think if I had that much subsidence near my house, my insurer wouldn't cover it. Okay, engine 2 is available. Engine mode select to normal.
Level 150, level Woody.
Skyline 590, descend to flight level 150, level at Woody.
Golf Tango Charlie, call Brussels 131.1, goodbye.
Turn to Brussels on 131.1, goodbye, sir.
Itaro 1850, contact Brussels on 129.575, 180, ciao.
Strangely enough, I think I've just taken the de-icing pads. Bit unfamiliar with this airport, to be fair, but nevertheless we're getting there. It's not busy, and I just need to make sure we find Victor 4 in a moment.
Cannon 25 Foxtrot, runway 36 left, cleared for takeoff. The wind is 310 at 6, remain my frequency.
Clear for takeoff, runway 36 left, remain frequency, Cannon 25 Foxtrot.
Okay, before takeoff checklist. Flight controls are checked, departure briefing is confirmed, flaps setting, config 1. FMA and takeoff data, 136 blue, 141 magenta, climb nav blue, 6000 blue, 1FD2, and toga. Transponder is set, ECAM memo isn't giving us the takeoff.
Switching Unicom, thankful service,
Let's do that.
Good evening, goodbye, sir, Lufthansa 65 Fox.
ECAM memo, takeoff no blue.
Cabin crew, seat for takeoff, please.
We've probably got about a minute to go before those engines are stable. They've been stable, they've just not been running for 3 minutes just yet.
Cannon 227, roger, let me see, at Eindhoven, the wind 240 at 5.
So we're clear to line up
1022,
in sequence, but we're not cleared for takeoff yet.
The clearance is to...
Christian, thank you, sir.
Ono 5 Juliet departure, disregards. Ono 6 Kilo departure. Initial climb flight level 60, scope 3167.
Told you I did need a PM this evening. You're doing a bang-up job, Christian. Tell you what,
negative, scope 3167.
as timings go,
Flight level 60 on the standard altimeter.
that's 3 minutes. Happy with that.
Get him on to 7, did you copy? Alpine 7907, runway 36 left, cleared for takeoff, remain my frequency, the wind 310 at 6.
Cleared for takeoff, runway 36 left, Alpine 7907.
Get a 591, climb level 250.
Okay, engine 2 is critical. Takeoff.
250,
Cabin secured for takeoff. Engine mode selector is normal. TCAS Airac packs. Oh, let's get the packs off. Pack 1, pack 2. Oop, missed. Pack 2. Anti-ice is not required. Take off. Start the chrono.
3167, initial climb.
Let's go.
Flight level 60.
Set 50% in 1.
Standard altimeter.
My thrust levers need a little bit more work. There we go. Thrust stable, set takeoff thrust. Mantoga, SRS.
Negative, climb flight level 60, not 6000, it's flight level 60 on the standard altimeter.
100 knots.
Get 1227, can you read back please? Flight level 60, standard altimeter
V1,
setting.
rotate. That runway seemed a bit bumpy to me.
Flight level 60,
Nav.
read back.
Gears up.
Please read back to full clearance next time. For now, report ready for push and start.
Are our strobes not on, guys? One sec.
50, direct Navro.
Oh, they were on auto. So they are on now, but they weren't on.
Flight level 250, direct Navro.
Set climb thrust.
669, Transavia 6697. For
Thrust
higher,
climb.
call Langen 135650. Goodbye.
Pack 1. Autopilot 1 engaged.
Lufthansa Cargo with 7825 requesting taxi.
Lufthansa Cargo 7825, taxi holding point 36 left via Quebec. And at Whiskey 5, cross runway 36 center.
Pack 2. Flap 0. Spoilers disarmed.
Quebec, and at Whiskey 5, cross 36 center.
Taxi to Autopilot Flight Plan Manager, Quebec, Whiskey 5, cross runway 36 center, Lufthansa Cargo 7825.
Austrian 3, Sierra Victor for higher, call Langen.
Yeah, I think I need to check my key bindings for that, although I don't know if it's a fly-by-wire thing. I have a button now on the side stick to pop the strobes on, but I think it puts them into the auto position rather than actually turns them on. So that's something else I need to...
Alpine 7907, climb flight level 250.
Flight level 250, Alpine 7907. Yeah, that's something else I need to double check. Flight level 250, 250 blue.
Scandinavian 593, call Brussels 131.1.
131.1, Scandinavian 593.
Canon
Oh, that's
3051,
dark.
Brussels 1311, goodbye.
131.1, goedenavond verder voor KLM 3051.
Goedenavond.
This is HD's perfect light setting, isn't it? Personally, I do prefer just a little bit of the...
Alpine 7907, proceed direct to Sonev.
Direct Sonev for Alpine 7907. William, do I want to sleep? Yes. It's as I was saying earlier when I started the stream, I'm still not 100% whilst I've been away the last week, but I'm a lot better than I was. I also said the biggest threat on this flight would be me and not the aircraft, due to being away for so long.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Well, I say so
keep
long.
your seatbelt fastened while the seat
About 10 days.
07 Delta, some radar, assumption rate.com, start flight level
you are seated.
Hello, 607 Delta, check your altimeter setting. Your mode showing
Remember that smoking is not
336 rather
permitted
than
at any
340.
time. This includes e-cigarettes.
Zex, when you go to Manchester, what's the best thing to visit? You've got flight tickets with your family, tell you can see that. Okay, so you've got the
607 Delta, did you copy?
you've got the airport pub, which is
607
just
Delta,
great.
Yes,
The runway turner flights weren't on either. Yeah, the airport pub, which is just great. You've also got Concorde as well. That's there. Go and see that. But you do need tickets for Concorde.
Speed 766, Amsterdam radar, descend flight level 70, proceed to Sugo for 27.
Glyn, when we're in cruise, can I talk about the flare? Yeah, okay.
proceed to Sugo, descend level 70.
So now fly level 110.
Fly direct to Sugo.
I don't know, can you give me headings if that's possible?
Negative. You have filed the flight plan to Lamso. You are supposed to prepare the Lamso arrival next time. For now, you can proceed to shut up Papa Lima. Expect the radar vectors later.
Alright, thank you.
That's not a read back, sir. Proceed to shut up Papa Lima viewer.
Zex, you want something for the kids like the museums, not aircraft? Ah, well, if you're going to Manchester Airport, I'm afraid there's nothing other than aircraft there.
Prepared, this is Papa Shiva letter, correct?
Shut up Papa Lima. Please prepare the arrival next time. Check the chart, sir.
But Manchester itself is a great city.
Okay. Can you put in a message, please?
I can't help you, sir. If you can't find anything, then I can't help you. Please prepare the arrival next time. Otherwise, I can't help you.
Man, you don't have to have so bad attitude, man. Just take it easy.
Not an attitude, sir. It's all about preparation. And if you don't like it, go fly somewhere else.
Ooh, arguments breaking out on VATSIM.
Can a 591 Cobra Sol 125 129er decimal 575. Goodbye.
Zex, if you ask in the chat, I'm sure some people will help you. I know very little about Manchester, the city itself.
135650, goedenavond.
135650, KLM 25 Oxford, fine avond.
Aside from the airport, of course. Ah, Dr. Magic, the Science and Industry Museum. Good choice. I was thinking of the other one. Is it the film museum? But I think that's in Bradford, isn't it? Not Manchester.
For now, proceed to shut up Papa Lima. Expect the radar vectors.
Velox, jump in, mate. Jump into the argument. Hell no. Let's just sit back and let them give entertain us on our Friday night, shall we?
You have to follow the airways to your destination. Sure, you cannot fly direct routes.
Copy that.
Technically, you can fly via direct routes if you are flying a non-GPS fitted aircraft.
Hello, Cathay 271. Proceed to Arctic. Expect runway 27. Maintain level 200 upon reaching.
And to be fair, as Danny's just said, he wasn't rude at all. If you cannot fly to a waypoint, or even a VOR, then you probably shouldn't be flying on VATSIM.
391 Foxtrot, there is no further ATC in the next sector. Free change approved, bye.
Dr. Magic, you're there next week? Nice.
Alright.
Is that as a...
Speedbird 766 Delta, are you flying to shut up Papa Lima?
Is that a little bit of fun for you? Sorry, I'm also still listening to this argument on VATSIM. Oh, William, thank you. I hope I get better soon. I just need some energy. That's it now. I've stopped feeling ill. I'm just shattered.
Yes, but my English is much better.
More so than normal.
Yeah, 766, yeah. You're flying online, sir. If you're flying online, you have to be able to fly to waypoints. If you cannot fly to waypoints, yeah, there's nothing we can do to help you.
For people in San Juan, you said Sierra Papa Lima?
B17, firm. For you as well, fly to shut up Papa Lima.
I don't know if we're going to get handed off to Unicom in a moment, but I'm quite tempted to remain on this frequency.
Kilo 45 Delta, taxi to runway 36 left, fire cadet.
Pepka, hello from... oh, go on. That's not Sacramento, is it? Where's SA? Give us another one. That's my very poor American states coming through. Oh, Dr. Magic, you're working there for the Bradford Science Week. Nice.
In just a few moments, we'll commence our in-flight service, offering you the chance to purchase a selection of hot beverages together with drinks and snacks from the bar. We accept payment in pounds, euros, most
Hello,
major currencies,
Juliet,
and
please to
debit or
Munich,
credit
Randy
cards.
to Victor
If an
departure
exchange would be greatly
disregard.
appreciated.
It's
And if we could be of any
Randy
further assistance, then just ask us
to
as we
Zulu
join you
departure,
in the
runway
cabin
36
shortly.
left, initial climb flight level 60.
Pepka, I thought it could be afterwards. I thought, could he have meant South Africa? But I thought, no, it's probably some American state that I'm appalling with.
3 Alpha Juliet, repack correct, report ready.
KLM 1227, requesting engine start, we're on lead for pushback.
KLM 1227, Eindhoven has
Active YouTube. You literally just heard us on the radio. That's how you knew I was streaming.
pushback approved, QNH over there.
It's when you hear me on the radio and I'm not streaming, people think, what? Where is it? Where is he? Velux, occasionally we do go out of Europe, particularly on Mondays when I get a chance to do the long haul mileage Monday flights. Mondays we normally come outside of Easyjet and do a different airline. So yeah, we've flown outside of outside of Europe quite a few times.
Expect an ILS approach runway 06.
Right, this is flight level 250. I don't think I've missed a call to go on to Unicoms. Sergeant Rob, my apologies for your very kind donation, $10 donation a few minutes ago. That must have been during a busy part of the stream. I completely missed that.
There's no ATC in the next sector. Climb flight level 370. Free change approved. Bye.
Flight level 370 and over to Unicom. Thanks very much for the service. Alpine 7907. Good night.
Good night. Get them on 227 to be sure. Start and push approved. QNH 102.
Thrust climb, open climb 370 blue. Yeah, Sergeant Bob, so sorry for missing your donation. Thank you very, very much for that. That is really appreciated. Very, very kind of you. Well, all seems to have calmed down now on Unicom, so we'll go over to Unicom 122.8. Ah, and there we go. So, we are 12 minutes into this flight. This flight is around 1 hour and 3 minutes. Let's have a quick check. Oh, we can see we're planned to arrive at 21:08 Zulu time. So, yeah, it's about 50 minutes. Not a long flight today. I say not a long flight. It isn't a long flight, but we have been streaming so far for 1 hour and 20 minutes. Doing everything slowly. And Amsterdam, of course, a nice long taxi. Mitchell, hello. How's it going? I hope I'm feeling better now. Well, I'm feeling better, but I'm just tired. I am tired, but I've missed these Friday night streams. I do like streaming on a Friday. Rico 87, you missed the departure from the best place on Earth. Best place on Earth. Rico, are you from Amsterdam by any chance? I think I saw your comment actually on the poll to do this flight route, and you did it. You obviously rallied the troops, and you got the route that you were after. So well done, Magnus. Thank you so much for your donation, and who simply says cheers. Magnus, that's very kind of you. Really appreciate your support of the channel. I hope you've got something great lined up for this weekend, Magnus. So thank you very, very much for that. Sergeant Rob, you're from Florida. Enjoy very much the streams and useful videos. Rob, you are very welcome. Thank you once again. Brian, I've had a bit of a flu bug. Well, I don't think it's flu. I think it's just general snottiness from the kids who are now in nursery. So, but essentially, yeah, something like that. It wasn't COVID, or at least that's what the tests have told me. So yeah. What do we guys think of this night lighting now? Do you think it looks a lot better? I do. I'm not too bowled over by that engine blast, but yeah, I think the night lighting looks far, far better. William, you're from Amsterdam. Oh, so local flight for you as well then. Excellent. Ryan E, good evening. Hope you're well. Thanks for stopping by. Mash, have I had the mega cold that's been going around? It floored you for 3 days, or something like that. unfortunately, blowing my nose hasn't helped. There doesn't seem to be anything to get rid of. I've just felt as I ached all day, like for the last 2 days. Today is the first day I felt limber, but I would be absolutely fine, and then within 5-10 minutes I'd just feel completely drained and need to go to bed. Just thought you haven't been in Amsterdam for a few years. What you remember most is that you've never seen so many bicycles in your life. You'd be terrified of going around on a bike there. Yeah, the night lighting's much better, isn't it, Mitchell? Which is one other reason I wanted to do a nighttime stream. I'm still not convinced by the VATSIM traffic night lighting, but there you go. Ting Tong Airlines are flying over your city now. Where's that? Jedis thought, no, not COVID, thank God. Brian, only bug in Sim Update 6 so far is the DC area. It causes crash to desktops. Does it really? We'll avoid that then. Yeah, that's not good. William says you've forgotten about the flu. Yeah, it's been replaced now, hasn't it? MASH, yeah, that sounds very much like what you had. It's some nasty stuff. I tell you, it's like all the other bugs have decided they're not going to be outdone by COVID, and they're just throwing it at us. Turgay says it's nice to have you back. Oh, Turgay, thanks. Thank you, mate. That's really nice to hear. I'm definitely not back to full strength just yet. Stuart, hi, Gavin, currently flying Munich to Manchester. Heard you on the radio amongst all the drama. Yo, yeah. Oh, we weren't involved in that, but there you go. Right, well now we're cruising. Flight level 320 is coming up. Just thought I've got my flu shot booked in a, I think it's next week, actually. Lando Lex, what's going on with the outside plane lighting from what you see? Some work, some don't. Yeah. I mean, FlyByWire updated this now so that the strobes actually do flash. They give you the double flash, which is quite neat. So that's much more realistic. Oh, I like the fact that it also reflects off the fuselage as well. Look at that. That's really neat. But as I'm looking around, I don't know if there are any aircraft around us at the minute, but I would expect to see at least 1 or 2 flashing aircraft in front of us, or around us, but I see nothing, which is a great shame. Yeah, and as Christian says as well, runway 36 left wasn't used in real life today as well. Did see that. So I thought there could be the potential that that was going to be picked tonight, and it was. Terry's Tech Channel, we're very close to the German border, and Ting Tong Airlines, the small town south of Enschede. Oh, I'm so going to pronounce that incorrectly, I'm not even going to attempt it, but close to the German border. By the time we've reached our cruising altitude, it'll be time to start planning our top of descent, which we probably need to have a little bit of a look at actually. Let's bring up our arrival. So, do we have any information on here with regards to what we would expect? Don't think there's any constraints or anything like that. Now, obviously for traffic, what we'd do is we're on the Golf 3 Sierra arrival, which brings us in to Prague 516, but then veers off to 517, 518, and back to Erasu, or Erasu. What we could do if there isn't that much traffic is we can go straight 516 to Erasu, and then we can come straight in on runway 24. That would obviously cut out this little dog leg, so I don't know if ATC is actually online there. What I am going to do to help us plan this top of descent, if we are going to be doing a sort of straight in approach, let's go to the Prague page, we'll pop that in. Lima Kilo Papa Romeo, runway 24, so I know how far we are away from that. We're only 258 miles away. James, the best place in the world is Yorkshire. Who's starting that argument? Mitchell, you've seen some reports saying the fly-by-wire is having some experiencing issues with gusts at high altitude. I've read that too, so I'm just praying we don't get anything today. We shall see. Glyn, the thing with the flare law is it's not that complicated really. All you've got to remember is that sort of from I can't remember, it's 50 or 30 feet the radio altimeter starts to the horizontal stabilizer trim setting is fixed, and will then over 7 seconds lower the nose down, and the side stick then creates a sort of direct input stick to input ratio on the horizontal stabilizer, which just gives you a basic feel for flaring. So I think one of the things that a lot of people get caught out with is the fact that the aircraft appears to lower the nose down, which it does, and you don't need to drastically pull back to lift that nose up, but it's to give it a natural feel for flaring. But that happens from, I think it's 30 feet. It's 30, it can't be 50 feet. I think it's from 30 feet radio altimeter. Just thought I am still using +10 for mine, yes. Clemo, good evening, sir. Good to see you. Hope you are well. Right, we'd best plan some sort of top of descent, hadn't we? 4,000 feet is our platform altitude, so we want to get to... We need to be at 4,000 feet by 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, well about, call it 10 miles. Maybe a little bit more, so we've got time to slow down. But with no restrictions, and we're going to make sort of a straight-in approach. Let's work this out. If we want to be at 4,000 feet by then, let's work out when we're going to start our top of descent. William! William FS, thank you so much for your $5.82 donation. He says it's for the chicken soup. Oh, William, you're very kind. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate that. Really nice sentiments as well.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the flight deck, we'll be delighted to hear that we're now at our cruising altitude, and we hope to give you nice views throughout the flight as we have good weather ahead and shouldn't be experiencing any turbulence. Of course, this means that you will not smoke any of your drinks that you may have from the cabin crew as they begin to start making their way around the aircraft. Could you please ensure that the eyes are kept clear so the cabin crew can offer you their cabin service, which will begin shortly. A reminder that Easyjetsimpilot channel members are able to access free drinks throughout the duration of the flight. Thank you, and I invite you to sit back, relax, and enjoy the remainder of the flight.
Yeah, that night lighting looks really, really neat. I like that. Okay, so I'm going to pop our top of descent in about 120 miles away from our airport. So Lima Kilo Papa Romeo 24. And if we zoom out, As I say, that probably isn't that far away, to be fair. Yeah, there it is. Not far at all. So probably about 100 miles to go before that. Let's go ahead and get some weather as well. I'm sure runway 24 is still in use. That's the preferred runway to use at Prague. Send that off. Matt, hello from Arizona. Hope the flight's been going well so far. Thank you, Matt. Yes, it has. It's been quite nice. We've just tried to keep it slow and chilled on this flight. And Cleo, glad I'm feeling better. Oh, I'm getting there. I'm getting there. PV981, you flew to Alicante for a short break. It made you realise what a superb job was well done. Oh, did it look really, really good? Did it look sort of quite close to reality, which is of course what we're after. Christian, thanks for that. Current METAR 240 at 20. Yeah, that is a bit windy. That's why we loaded the extra fuel, in case I bounce it up and decide to have to go around again. So we are using, which star is that we're using? Oh my word, we've got ATC. I'll come back to that in a moment. So we want 12807. Just double check that frequency, 128070, which is the Ryan radar.
Charlie 504, request to leave flight for 1.5 minutes.
Charlie 504, call triple back please.
We go.
Ryan radar, good evening, Alpine 7907, flight level 370, inbound Nomka.
Alpine 7907, Ryan radar, hello identified.
So we're under ATC control. We know we won't start our top of descent. Let's get some other stuff.
525, Ryan, good name identified.
So I'm going to grab what Christian's just given me in the chat and pop that in there. So what was that? QNH? QNH is 1017. That temperature is +8. Wind is 240 at 20. The transition altitude is 5,000 feet.
Go back, thank you.
And let's check the approach. So runway visual range and visibility well above the minimums for Cat 1, which is 1358. Oh, what am I doing? I'm putting the transition altitude in the barrow and the barrow in the radio.
Alitalia 544, contact München radar 124.950.
There we go. Let's have a look at the missed approach procedure as well while we're here. Let's just grab a couple of other information pieces off this chart. ILS, we'll check that frequency 109.1. Elevation is 1158. And the missed approach is climb to 4,000 feet and expect radar vectors.
So is it direct to last split?
Platform altitude is also 4,000 feet, and as we're coming in, the minimum safe altitude for us is going to be 3,000 feet.
Alitalia 544, contact Munich 124.950,
On landing,
124.950,
it'll be vacating left onto, it'll be Charlie or Delta. Charlie or Delta.
Easyjet 525, contact München 124.950, tschüss.
124.950,
850, the signal crash flight level 290.
So 850, Ryan Radar, hello, identified, climb flight level 350.
Climb 350, let's climb 850.
Ladies and gentlemen, take full advantage of your tax-free allowances today and make some amazing savings with our boutique range. In your in-flight brochure, you'll find details of our award-winning selection of gifts, most with massive discounts, some of which are exclusive to you as an Easyjet customer. Make the most of your opportunity to shop and save from the comfort of your seat. If you'd like to see any products, have any questions, or would like to make great savings, then just ask us as we join you in the cabin shortly.
So not long until I've calculated the point where I'd like to be at my top of descent, but we are under ATC control. I don't know if ATC is actually covering Prague at the moment. Now, has anyone else noticed that my mouse cursor has just disappeared? Oh, there it is. Does anybody else do that occasionally? The mouse cursor just disappears. William, you're going to have to keep me awake. You are going to have to keep me awake. That's why you're all here. Christian, is it now 21 knots? Go on then, I'll update it just for you. 240 at 21. I think I could have just updated the wind actually. I'll clear that company message just because I'll look at the eCam and that'll bug me otherwise. LA Kids 143, good evening mate. What triggers when you activate the approach phase and what happens if you forget? Right, okay, so the approach phase basically tells managed speed mode to start slowing down the aircraft. If you're in managed, it only works in managed speed. So if you're in managed speed and you trigger the approach phase, your aircraft will target whatever green dot speed is. Then when you go flaps 1, it'll target S speed. When you go flaps 2, it'll target F speed. And you can find those speeds on your performance page just here. What happens if you forget is, and you will do this at some point because we've all done it, is if you're holding 160 knots in selected speed here, and you get fully configured about 6 miles out, you then pop this into managed speed, well this will shoot back up to 250 knots because that would be its selected target speed because you haven't told it that you're on the approach, so it basically sets the wrong speed for you. And I don't think it automatically activates in the experimental version. What you may be used to seeing is the decel point, a magenta D somewhere on your flight plan. When you fly over that, then the aircraft automatically activates the approach phase. However, always worth doing it manually, because if you are getting radar vectors or something like that into an airport and suddenly you're taken off the navigation path and you don't fly over it anymore, say ATC brings you out and round for some reason, you don't fly over the decel point that could be around here, then it won't activate automatically. So definitely worth activating it manually. I normally activate it at around 10,000 feet now. When I get the landing lights on, that's sort of my mental trigger, landing lights and approach phase. Do them both together. So, just excuse me one moment while I go and grab a drink, and then we'll start working out if we can get this top of descent started where I'd like it to.
Fine, 7907, descent flight level 320. Fine, 7907, descent flight level 320.
sure that all the aisles are clear. The cabin crew are able to make their way around the aircraft without any...
Flight 7907, contact München, 124.950, goodbye.
Reminder for our Easyjet Simpilot.
124.950. Thanks for the service, Alpine 7907. Good night. I was still here, guys. I was just sloshing a drink down and rubbing my eyes and slapping my face. 12495. Check that was the right frequency, wasn't it? Merchant radar, good evening, Alpine 7907, passing flight level 330 for 320.
Alpine 7907, which status was identified, descent to reach flight level 170 at Laluk.
Descent flight level 170 be leveled by Laluk for Alpine 7907.
Easyjet 525, no further ATC available, switch Unicum 122, decimal bye-bye.
122.8, but we said 525, thanks for the
So start over descent, 170 blue, and there's Laluk.
Bye-bye.
Peter, I'm Charlie 5, over. Have a great weekend, bye-bye.
So Laluk's about 80 miles away.
You can proceed direct Laluk.
Proceed direct Laluk now for Alpine 7907. That actually helps us quite a bit because going direct Laluk means that I can get an exact distance here on the navigation display. So we can slow that rate of descent down actually. We'll hold 280 knots. And with plenty of time to go, what speed are we at? Yeah, so if we descend at around 1700 feet per minute, so we've got speed vs 1700. We'll keep an eye on that, monitor that descent rate as we go down. As we start to head through those clouds, check that temperature. As that starts to drop, we'll get the anti-ice on. I'm Lou, hello! Just rewatched the departure. I'm glad you enjoyed that. Is the description... oh, that's interesting. What description is it giving you? Should be Amsterdam to Prague. Is it the description? Is the description wrong? Oh yeah, that is wrong. I'm not sure why it's done that, to be honest with you. Shows you how many people read the description, doesn't it? We should probably edit that. There we go. That's now edited for anybody that wanted to notice. Good spot there, Amilu. Thank you very much for that. Just thought, does the real plane have top descent as part of VNAV? Yes, it does. I could just turn around and fly to Nantes. That would be some diversion. Don't think we'd have enough fuel for that, to be honest with you. Fly-by-wire, I just say I've been away for a week. Fly-by-wire now done away with the estimated fuel on board because they knew it wasn't working. It's just blank now. Well, that's fine if they have. So, weather and landing information is done. The FMGC is all set. Let's just increase that rate of descent a little bit more, stay on profile. Auto brake, we'll go with auto brake low. The arrival briefing is pretty straightforward. We're under ATC control. That is the full start. I'm going to be prepared, and I've planned, so sort of planned to make sure, because I imagine we'll probably get vectors and a bit of a shock here to Easyjet. I'd like to leave Easyjet at flaps 1, absolutely no later, really, than flaps 1. So, green dot before Easyjet, flaps 1 as we leave Easyjet, flaps 2 as we pick up the glide slope. Petra, good evening. So tower and ground are waiting for us as we get to Prague. That is fantastic news. And as they are waiting for us, then we might just have to get that on the standby. 13455. And the ground frequency is 121.9. So I've just killed that descent down now to 1,000 feet per minute. We can see Lilac is on there. They wanted that it was at 170 by that point. Track miles to go is 103, but remember we could cut quite a few of those out, which is why in the Prague page we've got this showing at just 70 miles to go. Which, with 70 miles to go, we're still nicely on profile. PV981, how do you get to the fixes page when you're in flight? You go to the flight plan, and it's the top left button. The line side key number 1, just there. And then it's then the line side key number 7. And there it is. So what I could also do here is we could pop in the radial, couldn't we? Extend that runway centerline. What's the airport frequency heading? Is it 241, isn't it? According to the charts. So that's going to be 061 if we pop that radial in there. And that should then, if I zoom out, there's our extended runway centerline. Because I don't know if ATC are actually going to be able to guide us all the way through this. ATC seems to have gone very quiet. 12495, have they gone offline? Echo, Delta, Uniform. They may have gone offline, you know. Huh. Oh well, München radar has now disappeared. So I think we're on our own. Petra, yeah, we're planned for runway 24. That's all good. Just double check that he's not online. München radio, Alpine 7907, radio check.
85.
Thank you, 7907. They are still there. Why could I not see them on VPilot?
Alpine 7907, you're leaving my space, monitor Unicom 122, that's the message.
Not that it mattered. Over to Unicom now, thanks very much for the service, Alpine 7907. Good night. I just thought the flight pad I found is usually a minute or two behind, so it's not always given the clearest picture. Right, okay, so let's just use this prog page, work out how far we are away. We're 50 miles away. So we're quite nicely on profile, but I do need to start slowing down. So let's get ourselves down to 7,000 feet, flight level 70, thrust idle up descent 070 blue. We'll get the standby at 1017 set. That seems rather dim. Turn that up.
Unit radar, speedbird 90530, 90538.
Speedbird 90538, München radar, hello.
I'll go to Unicom for the time being just to make some calls so people know where we are. Matt, how far out do I usually activate the approach mode? Approach mode or approach phase? Approach phase is normally about 10,000 feet, and approach mode when I want to capture the ILS. So saying hello from the Czech Republic. Thanks for stopping by this evening. Thank you so much for flying with us. Right, clouds are coming up and it's definitely going to require some anti-ice. Start rolling back at the speed as well. No speed restrictions on this particular start, but of course the normal 250 knots below 10,000 feet will apply.
For safety reasons, we ask now that you please turn off all electronic devices or switch them to airplane mode until after we have landed. Please note that the aircraft toilets are now out of use. If you wish to become a Easyjetsimpilot channel member, please contact a member of your cab crew who will be happy to assist you. Thank you, and we hope you have enjoyed your flight.
Danny, the A340 is almost released. Yeah, shame it's not for Microsoft Flight Simulator. X-Plane, isn't it? Is it X-Plane? Yeah, I'd be quite happy to fly that again. Very, very similar flight deck to the A320, as is the A330. Out of the two, I think the 330 beats the A340. In fact, I don't know how true it is, but I'm pretty certain the A340 was only designed because they wanted to give airlines a 4-engine option. It wasn't particularly successful. Eric, hello. Yes, so when you activate the approach phase, it turns the aircraft to the final approach fix. That is a bug in the Azobo coding. Nothing you're doing wrong. If you fly the fly-by-wire version of the aircraft, as I'm doing now, the experimental version, that will not happen because we're coming up on 10,000 feet now, so I'm actually going to activate that. So we'll go to the performance, we'll activate the approach phase. That's all done. I'm also going to get the landing lights on so we don't forget. Dark, you didn't, Dr. Magic rather, you didn't dream it. There is a Concorde coming, I think. There's 10,000 feet. Let's roll back our speed to 250 knots. Christian, I think the A350 is the new A330. I'd say almost the A380 was the new A340, wasn't it? Darren, you saw that Easyjet do a flight from Luton to Tel Aviv. Yeah, they do. I think they also do Glasgow to Tel Aviv. I've done that flight as well a couple of times. What a long flight that is. I wish that Azobo would fix this when flying through clouds. You know you're flying through clouds because your screens become luminous. How far away are we from that threshold? 30 miles away. Lovely. As we leave Golub, then we're going to go direct to Reju. So we'll do that now. Direct to Reju. Pop that in there. Rather than flying that full star that I don't want to do. So we can just slow that rate of descent down a little bit. Because we're flying through clouds, I find that really difficult to see the speed tape. There's Alt Star, and we're going to continue down now all the way to the platform altitude of 4,000 feet. So, speed 1,400 feet per minute and 4,000 blue. Set. Prague traffic Alpine 7907 is 13 miles to the north of Reju for landing runway 24. Okay, I'm going to go manage speed and I'm going to start slowing down to green dot. Christian, what was the latest meta, my friend? What was that cloud base? I can't see out the window. So I want a green dot before I raise you, and I want flaps 1 as I leave a raise you. Let's get the landing system on. There it is. 18 miles out. Tell you what we haven't done, guys. I told you you'd have to watch me like a hawk this evening, as I'm a little bit rusty, having been away. Seatbelt signs.
Ladies and gentlemen, the captain has turned on the fasten seatbelt sign. If you could please return to your seats and ensure that your seatbelt is securely fastened. If you are travelling with an infant, please ensure that they are secured safely using the infant seatbelt provided. The toilet will now go out of use until the fasten seatbelt sign is turned on. Please contact a member of the cabin crew if you require assistance. Thank you.
Cabin crew, please prepare the cabin for landing.
Okay, start configuring. I'm going to go flaps 1. Speed checked. Flaps 1. And we'll set 180 knots. I've got rain. At least I hope that's what that is. It's either that or St. Telmo's flare. Rain clouds were a possibility though in the TAF. I do remember seeing that.
Ladies and gentlemen, we will shortly be landing. Please ensure your cabin bag is safely stowed with your laptop inside. Your tray table must be
Alt
stowed,
star.
armrest down, and window blind open. You now need to be seated with your seatbelt fastened, ready for landing. Please help us by handing in any rubbish, newspapers, or magazines that you do not want to take with you. The toilets are no longer in service.
So slowing down to 180 knots, flaps 1, and keep an eye on that glide slope for flaps 2. Christian, maybe I don't see the ground because the dome light's on. HD would hate this. I can turn the dome lights off now. Now that we're not in the cruise anymore, I can have a look and see there. Is that better? Is that what you guys prefer? There we go, making the right turn. Lock start, glide slope blue. When we see the glide slope starting to move, we'll configure flaps 2. Prague traffic, Alpine 7907, runway 24, ILS established, 13 miles. Tyler, now I'm definitely going to fall asleep. Yeah, that's the reason I kept the lights on. I might open a window as well, just to get a blast of cold air. I think I can see runway lights ahead of me. Lock green. Here comes the glide slope. Flaps 2. Speed checked. Flaps 2.
Flight attendants, please prepare for landing.
Look at that wind. That wind can do one. And now we'll contact the tower. Prague Tower, good evening, Alpine 7907, established runway 2710 miles.
Goodbye.
Ryanair 7907, good evening, Roulette Tower, runway 24, clear to land, wind 24 degrees, 19 knots, have a nice landing.
Clear to land, runway 24, Alpine 7907. Glide slope star, missed approach altitude is set. We also forgot to do the approach checklist. Not that it's a major one, but everything is set. Start reduce speed to 160 knots. I'm going to pop the turn-off lights and the taxi and take-off lights on now. They don't come on until the gear's down, which will be in a couple of miles' time. Radio altimeter is alive. I just want to do it because I'm concentrating quite a bit at the moment on that wind. Here comes ground contact. Okay, so manage speed, landing gear, flaps 3, speed check, flaps 3. That looks rather bumpy. I'm not looking forward to this now. Flaps full. We should have a nice headwind, not a nasty crosswind. Landing checklist. Cabin is secured. Auto thrust speed. Go around altitude 4000 set. Ecam memo. Landing no blue. I'm almost tempted to turn those lights off. Looks like it's snowing outside. Hopefully we'll drop out this cloud base and that sort of glare and haze that you can see will disappear. That picture's starting to look a lot better now. So I'm expecting that wind just to drop off a little bit, become slightly more of a headwind. And with that, autopilot disconnected, I have control. Just need to force the aircraft down a bit as we're getting buffeted by those winds. Obviously getting buffeted by the headwind gives you more lift, which is great for a takeoff.
500. 400.
Pappies and glide slope disagreeing
300.
quite a bit, sadly. This feels rather sluggish.
200. Minimum.
Continue. We've been blown off that centre line. Let's get us back on there.
100. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10. 5.
And we're down. Reverse idle, decel, ground spoilers deployed. $70 knots, reverses off. Disconnect the auto brakes.
Ladies and gentlemen, the cabin crew will shortly be leaving their seats to perform safety-related duties. However, we ask that you remain seated until the fasten seatbelt sign has been switched on. Portable electronic devices for messaging, calls or internet access.
Over to ground 121.9. Thanks for the service. Good evening.
Please make sure that you take all your personal belongings with you, checking in the seat pocket, underneath the seat, and in the overhead lockers. Do take care when opening the lockers in case anything falls out. Smoking is not permitted until you reach a designated smoking area.
Now, ordinarily, I would now turn off the lights, but I haven't got a clue where I'm going. It's very dark. It's not a handcrafted airport, so just for simulator purposes, I am going to leave those on.
Facebook page, Twitter, or Easyjet.
We've now cleared the runway, so let's contact ground on 121.9, see where he wants us to go. Prague ground, Alpine 7907, vacated runway 24.
Alpine 7907, good evening, cruising ground, taxi via Lima, Foxtrot, Hotel 1, stand 31.
Stand 31 via Lima, Foxtrot, Hotel 1 for Alpine 7907. And we can also save a bit more fuel. We'll shut down engine 2. We'll also get the strobe lights off. We don't need those. As I say, I'm leaving all the other lights on just because I can't see where I'm going. So, Lima Foxtrot, Hotel 1. Keep forgetting that when it's wet in Microsoft Flight Simulator, you need a little bit more thrust than normal. Not only do you need a little bit more thrust, but when you've only got one engine running, it's also a little harder. So we're now straight down here on Lima. This is the crossway with Golf, and the second left onto Foxtrot is coming up. Danny, the furthest stand I could get. Yeah, that's why that's why we went for single engine taxi. Okay, left here onto Foxtrot 1, I think this is. Oh, actually no, this may be the wrong way. That is the wrong way. This is why I like handcrafted airports, and those signs are completely rubbish. It's okay, they won't have noticed that. Here's Foxtrot. Quite neat that in the forecast it did say we could get rain showers, and lo and behold, here we are with rain showers. So it got that spot on, didn't it? Hang on, have we landed in France? I think I just moved my thrust lever up into the climb gate, which is why we got the caution warning just there. Danny, this is the tourist route. They have to pay extra for that. So right at the end, stand 31 indeed. Paul, good morning. Good Saturday morning to you, sir. How's the weather down under? Right, where's this final stand? Really is right at the end, isn't it? It goes on forever, this taxiway. Here it is. What a lovely abrupt 90-degree turn. Paul, it's sunny and 27 degrees. Oh, lovely. Now, I've got a small issue here. I'm trying to add thrust to turn left on engine 1. I don't think the real engine has, the real aircraft has quite so much trouble doing this as this does here in the simulator. Will there be a live tomorrow? Not sure. We don't normally do Saturdays, but having had so much time off, I think I need the practice. Christian, I'm not going back to Manchester, although the weather here is pretty nice for England in October. Oh, right. And we're there. Beautiful. Let's get that parking brake on. Let's shut down engine 1. Seatbelt signs. Oh, hang on. Back to main menu. Have they moved those buttons? I'm pretty certain continue used to be there, didn't it? I nearly just screwed that up. Continue. Unless that's just my mind playing tricks with me. Seatbelt signs and rotating beacon light as well can obviously come off as well now. Turgay, if I turn the right hand engine is off. Yeah. We've been doing single engine taxi in. That would be why. Single engine taxi out, single engine taxi in. There we go. Beautiful.
Cabin crew, please disarm the door. Thank you.
Danny, have they moved those buttons? Ah, that's not just me then. That's good to know. Interesting. We can get those lights off now. Why would they do stuff like that? I mean, really, what do they get out of it? So, Christian, you nearly fell for that as well. Christopher, you've not fallen for that yet, but like me, you possibly would have. And Danny, yeah, that is so sneaky. Pepka, the time is now 11:30 in South Africa, but yet you've enjoyed the stream. Oh, thank you so much, guys. It's been a strange one for me because, I mean, obviously this is nothing compared to what the poor pilots have had to endure over the lockdown. Some didn't fly for, 2, 3, 4, 5 months, 6 months, and then they've had to jump in and remain current. They had to undergo simulator training, of course. Me, I had 10 days off, and I've sat there sort of second guessing myself on a lot of the stuff this evening. You can tell perhaps I've not been quite as fluent with the commentary, just because I've actually been concentrating perhaps more on the aircraft, because it wasn't as automatic as it has been in recent streams. So, thank you so much for bearing with me on that first flight back. But hopefully now we've broken the duck, we'll crack on with some more live streams in the next few days. That said, next week is also half term here in the UK, which means I may have just gone and locked myself in a box somewhere for some peace and quiet. So I hope all of you guys have got a fantastic weekend lined up. Thanks to everyone who has watched and enjoyed the flight tonight with us. Thank you so much as well to those of you who have donated and contributed towards the channel's upkeep this evening. That is very much appreciated. And of course to the Easyjetsimpilot channel members, thank you so much for that, guys. Always appreciate it. I hope to see you again very, very soon, and big thanks to all of you that spotted my mistakes and helped to point those out for me. Good night, everybody. I shall see you all again soon. Bye bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of myself, the captain, the first officer and the crew, I'd like to thank you once again for choosing to fly with Easyjet today. If you would like to become a member of the Easyjetsimpilot channel, please ask a member of the cabin crew, or simply click the red join button to find out about all the extra perks that are available when becoming a channel member. We wish you a safe and pleasant journey from the airport, and we hope you have a great day to come. Thank you very much, and we look forward to seeing you on the next flight. Bye bye.
Looking at ground, good evening once again. This is Fox Yankee Oscar 350.